Hello and a warm welcome to Federal Special Program Capital Beat. Leaders of the two parties from the opposition Maharashtra Vikas Aghadi in Maharashtra on Friday have heaped praises on BJP leader and Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis, raising eyebrows amid indications of a post-poll churn in the state. Now, what has happened? Samna, the daily mouthpiece of the Shiv Sena faction led by Uddhav Thackeray, has lauded Fadnavis for promising to turn the Maoist-hit Gadchiroli district into a steel city. Supriya Sule, who is the working president of the NCP faction led by her father Sharad Pawar, has said that Fadnavis deserves plaudits for his good work in the region. And now all these developments have come amid the backdrop of calls for unity and merger of the NCP factions. And if you look at the Samna editorial very carefully, it has been addressing Devendra Fadnavis as Deva Bhav. Congratulations, Deva Bhav. That is the first line of that mouthpiece. And what they have said is that CM Devendra Fadnavis started work in the new year, and for this he chose Gadchiroli. The CM reached Gadchiroli and started a new era of development in that Naxal-infested district. Now, the manner in which these praises have been heaped upon Fadnavis surely indicate some kind of a political churning post Maharashtra elections. Now, what does it really indicate? Does it mean that Sharad Pawar and Uddhav Thackeray will eventually give up on Maharashtra Vikas Aghadi and will join NDA? Does it indicate that? Or is it something more which is tactical, which is more strategic, and one should not read between the lines? Joining me now is Sanjay Jog, veteran journalist and political commentator from Maharashtra. Thank you so much, Sanjay, for joining. And we have Vivek Deshpande, a veteran journalist and political commentator. Thank you so much for joining. And I'll begin with Vivek right now because Vivek might have to leave. He said that he's in a hurry. So I'll begin with Vivek. That Vivek, how would you really see this development of Supriya Sule and the Samna mouthpiece, heaping praises on Devendra Fadnavis? Does it indicate that there is some kind of a political churning which is happening post Maharashtra elections?
Yeah, as you rightly said, there has been some churning going on, and it's very obvious that both NCP Sharad Pawar and Shiv Sena, led by Uddhav Thackeray, they are on they're on back foot because they have been depleted. Their strength has got depleted to such a new low now that they are not in a position to do anything as opposition. I mean, Shiv Sena, Uddhav Thackeray has been reduced to only 20 seats, and I think Congress has something like 18 or what. I'm forgetting that. Totally, they have only 44 seats. Congress, NCP, Sharad Pawar, and Uddhav Thackeray, they have only 44 seats. So they have been reduced to such a small minority in Maharashtra that there's virtually no opposition left. And with such a brute majority that the BJP has got, along with Eknath Shinde Shiv Sena and Ajit Pawar's NCP, that the Shiv Sena led by Uddhav Thackeray at least, and even Sharad Pawar's NCP, they are now afraid that with this brute majority, the BJP might unleash a new wave of atrocities, political atrocities on them, and maybe out of some defense mechanism, Uddhav Thackeray and Supriya Sule, they have taken a decision, possibly these two parties have taken a decision to mend fences with the BJP and to appear very friendly with the BJP so that they don't do any further harm. A huge amount of damage has already been done. I mean, they have been virtually reduced to nothing. So to just keep the remaining flock together and to keep whatever has been left of them with themselves, I think they have decided to mend fences with the BJP, appear friendly with the BJP, and just prevent any further damage. That seems to be the defense mechanism at play with this kind of an editorial and the lavish praise that Shiv Sena, Uddhav Thackeray has heaped on Devendra Fadnavis. But then in doing so, the Maharashtra, see, in this whole thing, Maharashtra is a big loser because if there is no opposition in Maharashtra, if the opposition behaves as friendly with the government, then what remains in Maharashtra? The entire Maharashtra goes in the lap of the BJP, and then there will be nothing that can be done against the BJP and BJP's brand of politics in Maharashtra, with these opposition parties playing friends with them. So that is going to be the outcome of this whole exercise. And apart from that, I think the Shiv Sena has, with this editorial, exposed itself to criticism that the same Shiv Sena had opposed the Jaitapur project, atomic energy project, and even the refinery project at Nanar. And it was the same Shiv Sena, Uddhav Thackeray, which had opposed the metro car shed in RA Colony in Mumbai. So the same Shiv Sena now doesn't mind the forest in Gadchiroli being cut for turning the Gadchiroli into a steel city. So it has exposed their so-called love for environment and environment protection as well. So I think from every point of view, from the ideological point of view, from the political point of view, Shiv Sena and NCP Sharad Pawar have been reduced to non-entities, and they have themselves decided to further add to it by not behaving in a self-respecting way, and trying to kind of keep their flock together and carve out a niche for themselves in Maharashtra's politics further. So they are completely surrendering before, reflecting before the BJP's might, and that could take Maharashtra's politics in an entirely different direction, where there is no opposition and the entire space, political space, gets occupied by BJP and its alliance partners. So that's a very, very unfortunate situation, I think. And for all the bravado that Mr. Uddhav Thackeray put forth during the last 4 or 5 years against the BJP, I think at the end of the day he has come a cropper.
All right. So let me come to Sanjay. That Sanjay, how would you look at this development? Samna mouthpiece addressing Devendra Fadnavis as Deva Bhav. Why do you think that they've adopted a language like that? And the same Sanjay Raut, who was so acerbic, who was so acidic during the elections, how can one forget what kind of language was being used by Uddhav Thackeray during the elections? How can one forget what Sharad Pawar spoke about NDA and the other leaders of the BJP? And this kind of a sudden U-turn, or if you may not call it sudden, surely it indicates some kind of a change as far as the political dynamics in Maharashtra are concerned.
Yeah, Nilu, there could be 2, 3 angles that definitely we have to explore. First, Shiv Sena has reduced to just 20 legislators. It's a kind of really a scenario wherein they want to stay relevant and stay afloat in the state politics. That's the compulsion which has been brought in because of the assembly results. Secondly, first of all, there have been so many, exits from the Sena led by Uddhav Thackeray. Just yesterday, a former mayor and a very senior leader from Sambhajinagar, as well as couple of others from erstwhile Ahmednagar, that is Ahilya now, have already migrated to Eknath Shinde. So basically, Uddhav Thackeray is still struggling to cope up with what has happened in the election and what will be the future strategy. Amid this, Sanjay Raut has been, he has been termed as a 9:30 broadcast by BJP, as he starts, speaking to reporters early morning and gives a certain some kind of agenda. Yesterday was a part of that. You must have seen earlier, he or Mr. Thackeray have been blasting with Devendra Fadnavis, Narendra Modi, Amit Shah, BJP, and everybody. But now, yesterday's that Deva Bhav and, heaping this praise, showering the praise is nothing usual, I think so. First of all, you must understand that Sena UBT right now is, within the party, there has been a major, what the information I have gathered is that already 10 of them are being looked at or tapped by BJP to get lured at their side. It's quite interesting scenario which is happening. And against that backdrop, if Sanjay Raut writes and, just praises Devendra Fadnavis, is definitely a situation to be watched. But I will not certainly say that this will definitely lead to Uddhav Thackeray going back to Devendra Fadnavis, because the bitterness is so high. This has been a fierce fight in the successive elections and later. Then it comes to Mr. Sharad Pawar led party. If at all Mr. Pawar had to go with his, estranged rather nephew, he would have definitely migrated in July 2023. But he remained consistent. Before the meeting that they had, he categorically said, आपने अगर निर्णय लिया होगा तो आप प्लीज जाइए, I won't be party to that. So he was quite clear. So even though Supriya has been also quite critical about Devendra Fadnavis. I mean, before the elections and later, she has been blaming and accusing as a home minister Devendra Fadnavis for an utter failure and for the deterioration of law and order. So only thing that I can definitely certainly say is that it's both the parties want to show that even though they are in opposition, but they will certainly continue to remain in line with BJP-led government when it comes to some, I mean, what we call strategic matters in for the state. That does not mean both of them are doing some kind of a service to the voters of Maharashtra. In fact, their role is now opposition. They should come out, hit the street, start, there have been so many cases. Just to tell you that just last 3-4 days, there have been interestingly two important news which have come in, wherein the decisions taken by Eknath Shinde-led government are under scanner by Devendra Fadnavis. One is about awarding some 2,700 crore of similar coastal road like on the lines of Mumbai in Thane, which is the home district of Eknath Shinde. And another is about certain contract in the state-run State Transport Corporation. I think, in against that scenario, opposition should have been hitting the government, since day one. Unfortunately, they are still, struggling to cope up with the scenario and find out and retweak or in fact tweak their strategy. Secondly, very interestingly, both the parties have yet to decide because, from the within, there has been much of, pressure. I've been talking to a couple of former legislators, former MPs, former ministers from both the parties. They, unofficially and informally tell us, in fact, there has been pressure within these parties. Why not to align with the BJP-led government? Because they want to, hide their own so-called corruptions and scams. Secondly, they want to save their own institutions. They may be education, milk federation, cooperative, and whatnot. That's a tremendous pressure which is happening now, to which Uddhav Thackeray and Sharad Pawar definitely are looking into it. But so far, Niru, to reply to a question, it's not a scenario or a situation where both of them will definitely go with the BJP. एक और ही एक बताऊंगा, quite interesting. BJP is now playing a very interesting game. They want to consolidate their strength and position under the leadership of Devendra Fadnavis. B, they have definitely and certain assigned objective of Shat Pratishat, going just alone and getting this power alone in the next 2029 election. ये इनको दोनों को जुड़ा के, both Shinde-led faction as well as Ajit Pawar-led faction are with them. But they are, Devendra Fadnavis is such a shrewd guy. He has been also sending signals to both of them. Boss, you are with us, but don't just go on, piggybacking on us to consolidate your strength and increase your position. We are, they are 132. With the 5 independents, they are 137. They require about some 8 to match or to achieve that magic figure of 144. So it's another way of also signaling to their so-called allies in the Mahayuti, don't just over-rely on us. We have another, parties and the legislators, they are ready to join our camp. So be on, just not to go on sending us some kind of a different message. Like, just to tell you, Eknath Shinde is still not happy. Yeah, last 10 days, he was not coming to Mantralaya. Just 2 days before, when there was a cabinet, he came. Yesterday, he chaired a meeting of his own department, that is housing. And today, just now, he attended 2 meetings chaired by Chief Minister as a Deputy Chief Minister. Now, basically, under his own jurisdiction, the departments which are coming in, urban development and the MMRDA, which is a very interesting body. So, to tell you again and again, Mr. Sharad Pawar and Uddhav Thackeray certainly will not right now go along with or have any kind of an alignment plan. But at the same time, BJP will certainly have its play when it comes to Maharashtra politics, both for Shinde and Ajit Pawar faction, as well as for Sharad Pawar and Uddhav Thackeray.
Now, coming as it does, Vivek, this kind of a posturing comes amid a lot of calls that there should be a merger of NCP. Do you see any possibility of the NCP, the two factions, Sharad Pawar and Ajit Pawar factions, merging together in any kind of a scenario? Because they also know that Congress hasn't done too well in Maharashtra. Congress was the weakest link as far as the Maharashtra elections are concerned. Congress did not supplement Maharashtra Vikas Aghadi the way they should have. So, in that scenario, is Maharashtra Vikas Aghadi also the different regional parties? Are they exploring a safe option for themselves? And therefore, there could be a merger in the offing. Do you sense that kind of a scenario, Vivek?
Yeah, then what happens at the end of the day, if this really becomes a reality, then what happens at the end of the day is there is no Mahavikas Agadi left in Maharashtra. And only Mahayuti is there. It is in ruling as well as it is in opposition. I mean, there is nothing in opposition, virtually nothing in opposition except for Congress. And what is Congress? Congress is absolutely in a very helpless and hapless situation. So, but I don't think immediately Sharad Pawar will decide to merge with Ajit Pawar or Ajit the other way around. I mean, since Ajit Pawar's NCP is now the officially main NCP according to Election Commission, and even because of the lack of any guidelines from the Supreme Court, it remains the official NCP, and Sharad Pawar is just a faction of the NCP. So maybe Sharad Pawar might join hands with Ajit Pawar, but not at this stage. Maybe at some point in future. When will that be? Nobody knows. But if push comes to shows, then I think this possibility is very much there. Uh, and as we hear from many people who stay close to corridors of power, the talks are already going on within both the factions of NCP. As we know, what Ajit Pawar's mother has recently said. So I think that possibility is very much there. When will that happen? Whether that will happen is a very open question. I think there is a greater possibility of that happening than it not happening. But when will that happen, if at all it happens? That is a question that we can't answer at this stage. It will be all too soon if they decide to do it early. I think they will wait for their moment and the right excuses for doing that, and then they will do it if at all they decide to do it. But for now, I think they are warming up to each other. That is something which everybody can see. So maybe it's very interesting times ahead in Maharashtra's politics. But whether Shiv Sena, led by Uddhav Thackeray, and Shiv Sena, led by Eknath Shinde, will merge, that seems to be very difficult, because in the editorial, you see, there is one thing that has been mentioned, where the editorial says that as against Fadnavis taking up this developmental initiative in Gadchiroli as its district guardian minister. When Eknath Shinde was a guardian minister, he was only minting money. That is the kind of mention that has been made in the editorial, which means that Uddhav Thackeray wants to be friendly with BJP, but doesn't want to kind of warm up to Eknath Shinde, and maybe at the cost of Eknath Shinde, he might want to share some space with the BJP. So on one hand, he's trying to warm up to the BJP, and on the other, he's trying to see to it that maybe if he can alienate Eknath Shinde from the BJP, that can work to his advantage. So, very, very interesting moves from both the sides. So, let's see what happens. I mean, time will tell. But when will all these things happen, nobody knows.
Yeah, I'm coming to you, Sanjay. Yeah, sorry.
Can I
Yes, Sanjay.
just come in? No.
Yeah,
Yesterday, I was the guy who asked the question to the state NCP that is led by Ajit Pawar, Chief Sunil Tatkare, the same question. The trigger was Ajit Pawar's mother, after paying tribute or darshan to Pandharpur's Vittal, had talked about a reunion of a family, not politics. So I asked him, do you really see such kind of a scenario of either a reunion or a merger? He candidly said, quite interestingly, he said, no, undoubtedly, family and politics are two different things. If at all there will be a union within the family members, certainly welcome, because Pawar family has been a quite a dominant family in the state politics. But when it comes to politics, the next line is quite crucial. He said, "We have taken a firm stand of aligning with the BJP-led government and the NDA at the center and the BJP-led Mahayuti in Maharashtra. Our stand is consistent since July 2023. There has been no change under the Mahayuti and under the NDA. We have won the election. So there is no question of change in our stand." So when I asked, but Mr. Pawar has already made it clear that he would definitely not like to deviate from his stand of joining hands with quote unquote communal parties. Then the question for that, the reply was that it is up to them. We can't take a call further. So they are quite clear. At this point in time, such kind of merger is not at all possible. But I will certainly give you a quite an interesting thing. Of the 10 legislators of the Sharad Pawar led party, which has elected in the assembly elections, I know for certain some of them have already started internally discussions about why not to be with Ajit Pawar. Because again, I have been repeatedly telling you, most of them want to protect their own economic and political interests locally. To which Sharad Pawar or Mr. Jayant Patil, who continues to head the state unit, have completely rejected. And that's why I told you, on 8th and 9th of this month, Mr. Pawar has convened a 2-day meeting basically to clear all these doubts and give him a further direction. So at this point in time, I don't think any kind of a merger possibility. As Azad Vivek also said, Sena totally ruled out. I know for sure to whom, Mr. Thackeray has been in conversation with me practically every day. The bitterness that he has got against Eknath Shinde, there is no possibility of any kind of a rapprochement. In fact, this kind of, the political rivalry will be further increased, even though Mr. Shinde continues to be the deputy chief minister. Just,
No, but what
despite.
I don't understand, Sanjay, is the possibility of Samna writing and addressing the Devendra Fadnavis's Devabhav and Sanjay Raut endorsing it. So does it mean that is Sanjay Raut under pressure or is Uddhav Thackeray under pressure? Does it indicate that some kind of a pressure on either of them?
I don't think so at all. That's what, agar ye pressure rehta, to Mr. Uddhav Thackeray, there was definitely a door open 3 years ago, which he did not. He has been all the time saying on the record also, ED has been chasing him and his family. What happened to his close associates? One of them is right now under arrest for so-called, scam in the corona, that is in the BMC. His son, Aditya, has been also chased in that this killing of that film artist. Thirdly, very interestingly, Sanjay Raut already been in arrest for almost 3 months. So I don't think that, angle he has already talked about. He has ruled out that he will not succumb to any kind of a pressure. Neither there has been any kind of a window that he has kept it open. So as you rightly said, everybody is asking the same question. Why then such kind of Sanjay Raut as an executive editor writing in favor of Devendra Fadnavis, terming him as Deva Bau and showering a praise? Very interestingly, there has been no word from Uddhav Thackeray. Just to tell you that, when the session was on, the winter session in Nagpur, from where Vivek comes from, when the session was, it was just a weekly affair. Mr. Uddhav Thackeray, along with his son and couple of his legislators and leaders, just went and made, Devendra Fadnavis and garlanded him and whatnot, felicitated him and wished him well. So I still feel this is just a goodwill gesture. Beyond that, I don't think so. But the only thing that we expect from NCP led by Sharad Pawar as well as Uddhav Thackeray is that what will be their positioning in the days to come, as undoubtedly they will have to come out as a strong opposition to take on this mighty BJP led Mahayuti in Maharashtra.
Now all eyes would be on that 2 days meeting which Sharad Pawar has called in towards the first week of January, but much more to look forward as to what's really going to happen in Maharashtra as far as the political posturing of Uddhav Thackeray and Sharad Pawar faction of NCP is concerned. Thank you so much, Sanjay and Vivek, for joining. And one appeal to the viewers who are watching this discussion on the federal, subscribe to our channel and send us your feedback. Thank you.